Have you ever sat in silence, wondering why, no matter how kind, how patient, how loyal you are, your relationships still fall apart? You followed all the rules, you were told to be nice, to be a good listener, to just be yourself. But instead of being loved, you felt dismissed. Instead of being seen, you felt invisible. Now here's a hard truth: maybe you're not the problem, maybe it's the advice that's broken. Because most of what modern culture teaches men about women, it's not just outdated, it's misleading, it's shallow, and it leaves good men confused, frustrated, stuck. But if you're here, it means you're done playing games. You're done chasing validation. You want clarity, depth, real connection, and that begins with something most men never do: understanding what truly drives a woman. Emotionally, not to manipulate, not to dominate, but to connect, to lead, with strength, with truth, with presence. We suffer more in imagination than in reality. Seneca. And in that same spirit, today's video is not about fantasy, not about tactics, it's about truth. We're going to unpack 15 female psychological weaknesses. Not as flaws, but as access points, not to exploit, but to honor, because when you understand what a woman guards most, you earn the right to protect it. To build trust, to create emotional safety, to inspire desire, not through pressure, but through presence. This isn't a seduction manual, it's a blueprint for self-mastery, rooted in timeless Stoic wisdom, sharpened by modern, practical psychology, and driven by one mission: to help you become a man who doesn't chase approval, but attracts deep respect. So take a breath, open your mind, and lean in, because what you're about to hear might just change the way you see women, and the way you carry yourself as a man. Let's begin. Let's start with a hard truth most people avoid. We've been taught that humans are logical beings, that we make decisions based on reason, that we weigh pros and cons, then act accordingly. But the Stoics, men like Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, Seneca, they saw deeper. They understood something modern psychology is only now confirming: we are not driven by logic, we are driven by emotion, and nowhere is this more obvious than in relationships. You see, a Stoic man doesn't try to deny this. He doesn't rage against reality, he observes it, understands it, and learns to navigate it. And when it comes to women, one key truth rises above all: women are emotional navigators. They feel first, they interpret the world through emotion, before reason. Even when they can't explain why, they know something feels off, or safe, or irresistible. Now listen closely. Your job as a man isn't to control that emotional tide, it's not to fix it, or fight it. Your job is to understand it, to become a calm presence in a stormy sea, to be unshakable, while the world around you shifts. This is where the Stoic advantage begins. At the core of every woman's emotional world, there's a need that runs deeper than attraction, looks, or money: security, stability, not just financial, although that matters too. I'm talking about emotional steadiness. About being a man whose presence says, "I've got this, I don't panic, I don't crumble under pressure, you're safe with me." In a world full of chaos, unpredictability, and weak men pretending to be strong, a grounded man is rare, and rare is attractive. Marcus Aurelius said, "Very little is needed to live a happy life." And he was right. A Stoic man simplifies, he cuts out the noise, he builds strength from within, not from what he owns. Ask yourself, are you dependable? Do your words match your actions? Do you show up the same, rain or shine? Because to a woman who feels the storm of life daily, your steadiness is her peace, not your charm, not your promises, your consistency. And consistency comes from self-mastery. Here's another brutal truth: clingy men repel, emotionally needy men get ignored, disrespected, or friend-zoned. Why? Because women are drawn to independent men, men who have a mission, men whose lives don't revolve around impressing anyone. A Stoic man doesn't chase validation. He creates his own. He doesn't beg for love. He offers strength. Marcus said it best. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. That means, you don't wait for someone else to complete you. You cultivate peace, purpose, and clarity on your own. Think about it. When you're so focused on your goals, your habits, your vision, you give off a different energy, a calm confidence that says, I want you, but I don't need you. And that energy is magnetic. So what does this look like in the real world? It means you're building something, a business, a skill, a stronger body, a wiser mind. You have hobbies, routines, and standards. You don't drop everything the second someone texts you. You don't lose yourself in someone else's world. Because you've already built your own, and when you do that, women don't just notice, they respect it. Independence doesn't mean isolation. It means emotional sovereignty. It means standing tall, whether someone stays or leaves. Because at the end of the day, a Stoic man walks alone, not because he has to, but because he can. So let me ask you, are you steady in the chaos? Are you the calm in her emotional storm? Or are you reacting, chasing, and hoping? Remember this, she doesn't need you to be perfect. She needs you to be present and powerful, and that power, it doesn't come from trying to control her emotions, it comes from mastering your own. That's what the Stoics understood, that's what real men live by, and that is where your journey begins. This is only the beginning. In the next chapter, we'll explore the silent tests women give men, and how the Stoic mind can see right through them. Until then, stay calm, stay grounded, and lead with strength. Let me ask you something personal. When life hits hard, when emotions rise, when the woman you care about looks at you, expecting strength, do you lead, or do you fold? Because here's the truth, a man's real power doesn't come from how loud he speaks, or how much money he makes, or how many people like him on Instagram. His power comes from what he can control, and what he refuses to let control him. And that starts with mastering himself. The Stoics, those ancient warriors of the mind, understood this deeply. They weren't chasing approval. They weren't slaves to emotion, they trained their minds. Like soldiers train their bodies, with discipline, with calm, with focus. And when it comes to relationships, especially with women, that mental training becomes your greatest weapon. Because the weaknesses most women reveal, they're not flaws, they're reactions to a man who has lost control of himself. Let's talk about 3 of those reactions, and how a Stoic man doesn't just survive them, he leads through them. It's easy to misunderstand this. We live in a culture where leadership is often mistaken for domination, where taking charge is confused with controlling someone. But that's not what real leadership is. Real leadership is the ability to bring clarity to chaos. It's having the courage to decide when others freeze in uncertainty. Now here's the twist, even the most independent, strong-minded women still desire a man who can lead with calm confidence, not control, lead, and the difference is everything. A woman doesn't want to be told what to do, but she wants to feel that you know what you're doing, that you have a direction, a standard, a frame she can trust. Epictetus said, we cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them. And leadership is exactly that, a man who responds, not reacts, who doesn't ask, what do you want me to do? But instead says, here's what we're going to try, come with me. So what does that look like? In real life, it means you don't say, what do you want to eat? You say, I know a place I think you'll love, let's go. You don't shy away from making a plan, you don't apologize for having an opinion, you own the frame. not because you're trying to impress her, but because you've already impressed yourself with who you've become, and when she feels that steadiness in you, she will follow, not because she has to, but because she wants to. This one might sting, but let's face it, no matter how much women say they want a sensitive man, what they're actually repelled by is emotional weakness, not emotion itself, but a lack of composure. See, women are deeply tuned into energy. They feel things before they analyze them, and when a man shows indecision, when he whines, seeks constant reassurance, or avoids responsibility, she doesn't see vulnerability, she sees instability, and that, to her nervous system, is unsafe. Now I'm not saying you should bottle up your emotions, I'm saying you should process them, like a Stoic, Epictetus wrote. It's not the event itself that disturbs you, but your judgment of it. That means, if you're stressed, handle it. If you're angry, understand it. Don't explode. If you're overwhelmed, take space. Breathe. Act. But don't dump your unresolved chaos onto her lap, hoping she'll fix it. She's not your therapist. She's your partner, or your potential one. She wants to trust that you can carry your own emotional weight, that you can withstand the storm, not become it. So the next time life gets heavy, ask yourself, is this a moment to vent? Or a moment to lead? Sometimes, real strength is saying nothing, and handling your business. Let me say this clearly, women are not attracted to comfort, they are attracted to momentum. She doesn't need you to be rich, she doesn't need you to have it all figured out, but she does need to feel that you're going somewhere. A man without direction, without hunger, without a fire in his soul, that man feels empty to her, no matter how nice, polite, or safe he seems. Here's the thing, most men stop growing the moment they get comfortable. They land a job, a relationship, a routine, and they flatline. But the Stoics saw growth differently. Epictetus taught us this: don't wish for things to happen as you want, wish for them to happen as they do, and then use them to improve yourself. This is the essence of a concept called prokoption. It means progress, advancing forward, no matter the circumstance, and in relationships this matters more than you think, because when a woman sees you reading books, improving your fitness, working on your mindset, pursuing a vision, she doesn't just admire you, she respects you, and more importantly, she feels safe investing emotionally in a man who refuses to settle. So don't chase perfection, chase growth. Start small if you have to, read 10 pages, wake up 30 minutes earlier, cut one bad habit, but show her, and more importantly, yourself, that you are not here to live an average life, you are here to master it. So let's bring it all together. Women don't want a man who's constantly trying to prove himself, they want a man who already knows who he is, a man who can lead with clarity, stand with calm, and move through life with purpose. A Stoic man, a man who doesn't fear chaos, because he's trained for it. And the truth is, you don't become that man by accident, you become him, through discipline, through silence, through choosing reason over reaction, daily. So if you're tired of the emotional confusion in your relationships, if you're done feeling misunderstood, overlooked, or disrespected, stop trying to change women, start leading yourself, because when you lead yourself well, everything else follows. What's one area of your life you're ready to lead more boldly? And remember, true strength isn't loud, it's steady, it's silent, and it's earned. Keep growing, and I'll see you in the next video, where we explore the silent tests women give men, and how a Stoic mind passes them with ease. Let's get one thing straight, a Stoic man doesn't chase attention, he doesn't beg for love, he doesn't try to prove his worth. He becomes valuable, and then lets the world come to him. There's a deep difference between wanting to be seen and being so grounded in who you are, that you don't need the spotlight, because you've become the fire that lights your own path. And ironically, that's exactly what makes you magnetic. In this part of the video, we're going to break down 3 powerful psychological triggers, things most men overlook, but when understood, can completely transform your presence with women. Let's begin. 1. The power of mystery. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you read a book that told you everything? On the first page, you'd close it, right? Now apply that to how most men present themselves to women. They overshare. They try to impress with details. They lay out their entire life story in the first 10 minutes. And just like that, all the mystery is gone. Mystery isn't manipulation. It's not about playing games. It's about depth. It's about having a life so rich, someone has to explore it to understand you. Because here's the truth, when everything about you is instantly available, you become forgettable. Women are drawn to men who leave space, men who reveal themselves slowly, men who live with intention, not explanation. Epictetus said, "Don't explain your philosophy. Embody it. Let your life speak. You don't have to say, 'I'm ambitious.' Let your goals show it. You don't have to say, 'I'm grounded.' Let your energy reveal it." So what's the real-world application? Stop being so available. Stop answering every text in 5 seconds. Stop oversharing just to keep the conversation going. Hold something back. Let her wonder where you are, what you're building, what drives you. Because when she has to earn the next layer of who you are, curiosity turns into attraction. Mystery isn't about being cold. It's about having a world of your own that she wants to be part of. 2. The psychology of preselection. Now let's shift gears. There's a powerful dynamic here that most men ignore. It's called preselection. In simple terms, it means this: women are more attracted to men who are already admired, respected, or desired by other women. This isn't about showing off or being a player. It's about social proof. The silent message that says, if other women value this man, maybe I should too. It's like walking past a restaurant with a line out the door. Even if you've never eaten there, you want to try it. So how does a Stoic man apply this? He doesn't fake it. He builds it. He surrounds himself with people who elevate him, men and women who admire his mindset, who respect his presence, who enjoy his company. Seneca said, "Your value doesn't come from the praise of others." That's true, but understanding how human nature works helps you navigate it wisely. A man who's always invisible, always isolated, always in the background, is easy to overlook. But a man who is respected in his tribe, valued in his circles, present in his power, he doesn't chase attention, he attracts it. So if you want to be more attractive, don't obsess over one woman. Focus on your social ecosystem. Who do you spend time with? Do they challenge you? Sharpen your edge, elevate your spirit, because when she sees other women admire you, that you're chosen, not chasing. Her instincts light up. That's not game, that's psychology. 3. The depth of masculine energy. Now let's talk about something most people avoid: masculinity. We live in a time where masculine traits are misunderstood, even criticized. But beneath all that noise, there's a biological truth. Women are still drawn to masculine energy. Not macho, not loud, not controlling. I'm talking about quiet strength, the kind that says, "I won't break when things get hard. You can lean on me. I've got this." Seneca once wrote, "A good man is not made by ease and comfort, but through trial, pressure, and perseverance." Masculine energy is forged in fire. Built through challenge, tempered by self-mastery. You want to be more attractive? Don't focus on being nice. Focus on being grounded. Start with your body. Train it, move it, strengthen it. But don't stop there. Train your mind. control your emotions, master your decisions. Because when a woman feels your presence, your calm, steady, composed energy, she's not counting your jokes, she's not measuring your paycheck, she's asking one thing: can I relax here? Can I trust him? Masculinity isn't toxic, uncontrolled masculinity is, but masculine energy, paired with stoic discipline. That's rare, and rare is powerful. Let's bring it home. You don't need tricks, you don't need to change who you are, to be liked. What you need is to become more valuable, because a stoic man doesn't chase validation, he pursues virtue, and in doing that, he becomes magnetic, without even trying. So remember, keep a bit of mystery, don't rush to be understood, let them discover you, build a life that draws people in. Through energy, through purpose, through discipline, embody masculine energy, strength without arrogance, power without noise, presence without pressure, because women don't want perfection, they want direction, they want depth. Not drama, purpose, not performance, and that starts with one question: am I becoming the man I admire, or still trying to be the man she likes? Choose wisely. The world doesn't need more noise, it needs more grounded men, more stoic men, men who live by principle, not performance. So build that man, the one no one can ignore, starting today. Let's get one thing straight: a stoic man doesn't chase attention, he doesn't beg for love, he doesn't try to prove his worth, he becomes valuable, and lets the world come to him. There's a difference between wanting to be seen and being so rooted in who you are that you don't need the spotlight, because you've become the fire that lights your own path. And ironically, that's exactly what makes you unforgettable. In this video, we'll break down 3 deep psychological triggers that make a man magnetic, not because he's trying to impress, but because he's mastered himself. Let's begin. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you read a book that told you everything? On the first page, you'd close it. Now think about how most men present themselves. They overshare, they try to impress, they spill their life story in 10 minutes. And just like that, all the mystery is gone. But mystery isn't manipulation, it's not a game, it's depth, it's having a life so rich, someone has to explore it to understand you. Because when everything about you is immediately available, you become forgettable. Women are drawn to presence, to men who leave space, men who don't explain everything, but embody something greater. Epictetus said, "Don't explain your philosophy. Embody it. Let your life speak. You don't need to say, 'I'm ambitious.' Let your goals prove it. You don't need to say, 'I'm grounded.' Let your energy show it. So here's how to apply this. Don't always be available. Don't answer every text in 5 seconds. Don't overshare just to keep a conversation alive. Hold something back. Let her wonder what drives you, where you go, what you're building. When she has to earn the next layer of you, curiosity turns into attraction, and attraction becomes connection. Mystery isn't about being cold, it's about having a world of your own that she wants to enter. That's presence, and that's power. Now let's go deeper. There's a truth most men overlook. Women are more attracted to men who are already admired by other women. It's called pre-selection. It's not a game. It's not about showing off. It's social proof, just like a restaurant with a line out the door. We're wired to notice what others want. If other women value this man, there must be something valuable about him. So how do you apply this as a stoic man? You don't fake it, you build it. Build friendships, build trust, build a reputation of quiet strength. Surround yourself with people who sharpen you, men who challenge your mind, women who respect your energy. Seneca said, "Your value doesn't come from the praise of others." True, but understanding human nature helps you move through it wisely. A man who hides in the background, who's always invisible, is easy to overlook, but a man respected in his circle, valued by his tribe, chosen, not chasing, he stands out, without trying. So stop obsessing over one woman, start investing in your ecosystem, because when she sees others admire you, her instincts light up, not because you're seeking attention, but because you've earned it. That's not game. That's ancient psychology. Now let's talk about something even deeper, not attraction, but direction. We live in a world that misunderstands masculine energy, but beneath the noise, there's truth. Women are still drawn to grounded masculine presence. Not macho, not controlling, not loud. I'm talking about quiet strength, the kind that says, I won't break when things get hard, you can lean on me, I've got this. Seneca wrote, a good man is not made by ease and comfort, but through trial, pressure, and perseverance. Masculinity is forged in fire, so don't try to be perfect, be solid, train your body, but more importantly, train your mind, regulate your emotions, make clear decisions, move with intention, because when a woman feels your calm, your steadiness, your silent command, she's not counting your money, she's not laughing at your jokes, she's asking, can I relax here, can I trust him with my nervous system? If the answer is yes, she'll follow, not because she has to, but because she wants to. Masculinity isn't toxic, uncontrolled masculinity is, but masculine energy, anchored by Stoic self-mastery, that's rare, and rare, is powerful. So let's bring this home. You don't need tactics, you don't need tricks, you don't need to become someone else, you need to become a man of value, a man with presence. A man with inner stillness, a man with direction, because the most attractive man isn't proving himself, he already knows who he is. So keep a bit of mystery, build a life that draws people in, embody strength without noise, lead with purpose not performance. Women don't want perfection, they want direction, they want depth, not drama, purpose, not performance. And it all starts with one question, am I becoming the man I admire, or still trying to be the man she likes? Choose wisely, because the world doesn't need more noise, it needs more grounded men, more stoic men, men who lead themselves, and let everything else follow. Let's get one thing straight, a stoic man doesn't chase attention, he doesn't beg for love, he doesn't try to prove his worth, he becomes valuable, and lets the world come to him. There's a difference between wanting to be seen and being so grounded in who you are that you don't need the spotlight, because you've become the fire that lights your own path. And ironically, that's exactly what makes you unforgettable. In this video, we'll break down 3 deep psychological triggers that make a man magnetic, not because he's performing, but because he's centered. Let's begin. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you read a book that told you everything? On the first page, you'd close it. Now apply that to how most men show up. They overshare, they impress, they dump their life story in the first 10 minutes. And just like that, all the mystery is gone. But mystery isn't manipulation, it's depth, it's restraint, it's having a world inside you that can't be rushed, only explored, because when everything about you is instantly available, you become forgettable. Women are drawn to emotional presence, not noise, not excess, but silence with substance. As Epictetus said, don't explain your philosophy. Embody it. Let your life speak. You don't say I'm ambitious. You build, you don't say I'm grounded. You move like a man who is. Practical application, stop being overly available, stop replying instantly, stop oversharing just to fill the silence, hold something back, let her wonder where your mind goes, what you're building, what you're not saying, because when she has to earn the next layer of you, curiosity becomes magnetism. Mystery isn't distance, it's dignity, the life she wants to enter, but has to qualify to stay in. That is presence. That is masculine gravity. Here's a truth most men never consider. Women are more attracted to men who are already admired by other women. This isn't game. It's pre-selection. It's biology. We're wired for social proof. It's why we check out the restaurant with a line. Even if we've never eaten there, if others value this man, maybe he carries something valuable. So how do you apply this? You don't pretend. You build. You build relationships that are rooted in truth. You surround yourself with people who respect you, challenge you, enjoy your presence. Seneca said, "Your value doesn't come from the praise of others." True, but understanding human nature, that's wisdom. A man who's always hidden, always isolated, feels forgettable, but a man respected by his tribe, chosen by his circle, anchored by his own standard, he stands out, naturally. So don't chase one woman, build a world others want to enter. Because when she sees others respect you, when you're chosen, not chasing, her instincts light up, and that's not manipulation, that's alignment. Let's go deeper, let's talk purpose, direction, fire. Masculine energy isn't loud, it isn't pushy, it isn't fake confidence, it's stillness, it's focus, it's containment under pressure. The Stoics knew, true power isn't shown, it's carried. Seneca wrote, "A good man is not made by ease and comfort, but through trial, pressure, and perseverance." You want to be magnetic, don't try to be nice. Be stable, train your body, sharpen your mind, control your emotion, make calm decisions, in a world that reacts to everything, because when a woman feels your presence, your inner silence, she's not thinking about your income, she's asking, can I relax here? Can I trust him when life gets heavy? Masculinity isn't toxic, uncentered masculinity is, but masculine energy, disciplined by Stoic clarity, that's rare, and rare is irresistible. So let's bring it home. You don't need tactics. You don't need tricks, you don't need noise, you need to become a man of value, a man of presence, of composure, of quiet direction, because the most attractive man isn't trying to prove himself, he already knows who he is. So keep some mystery, let your actions speak, let your silence lead. Women don't need perfection, they want direction, they want depth, not drama, purpose, not performance. And it starts with one question: am I becoming a man I admire? Or still trying to be the man she likes? Choose wisely, because the world doesn't need more noise, it needs more grounded men, more stoic men, men who live by principle, not performance. Men who lead themselves, and let everything else follow. Build that man, today.